Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I do my bookkeeping as a crystal shop and what tool I use to help me do that. And if you're new here, my name is Barbie and my channel is all about crystal business, crystal unboxing, crystal hauls, and all things to do with crystals. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe down below. But without further ado, let's get started. As a small business owner, do taxes scare the hell out of you? They used to scare the hell out of me before I started using QuickBooks. Now, this is not a sponsorship from QuickBooks. This is truly just a video to help you guys sort out your taxes, because I know taxes can be such a cumbersome thing to deal with and to learn, especially as a small business owner, and it's tax season right now. So I was really inspired to make this video to share everything I've learned in the last 4 years of owning a crystal business and paying taxes. So I wanted to share some tips and tricks that I've learned with you and how I use QuickBooks to do that. Now, disclosure, I am not a tax expert, nor am I a CPA. So this is just based on my personal experience as a crystal shop owner with 4 years of business. However, please consult a tax professional on anything that I'm going to say just to make sure it's right for you, because taxes are different state to state and country to country. So let's jump into my tips. So my number one tip, whether you're using QuickBooks or any other tax program or service or CPA, is to have a separate bank account for your business. This is so incredibly key to not having your personal and business expenses get mixed up, because if they do, it's gonna be so incredibly hard to classify your expenses after a year. So 100%, if you do not have a separate bank account, get a separate bank account now. It does not have to be a business bank account, though that does help. You can open a business account with an EIN, and you can get an EIN, which is a separate social security number for your business for free from the IRS website in minutes. So highly recommend getting an EIN if you don't already have one. But again, if you don't have an EIN and you just want a separate bank account, go ahead and open that with your bank. Now, one of the coolest things about QuickBooks is that it integrates with Etsy. This is actually how I started using QuickBooks. Was I was like, okay, I'm making over a certain amount of money, I need to start paying estimated taxes, etc., etc. And then I saw that Etsy has an integration with QuickBooks, which totally blew my mind. So I signed up for QuickBooks. It was super cheap. I think it's under $20 a month for the self-employed one, and it links completely with Etsy. All your fees, all your shipping costs, all your customers' purchases, anything and everything, it imports it, so it easily can classify it for your accountant. So it tracks all of the money coming in and out. So when you do get your 1099 from Etsy, all of that is classified within QuickBooks. So you guys know I'm a huge advocate for Etsy, but that's another thing that Etsy offers that Shopify actually doesn't. Shopify right now that I am aware of does not have an integration with QuickBooks. So it's just another little perk of being on Etsy. However, if all of your transactions on Shopify are in your bank account and you link your bank account to QuickBooks, that will capture all of the same information. So the other thing that's really amazing about QuickBooks is you can link one bank account or 10 bank accounts, however many you need to have those expenses come through so that you can classify them. So it's another really great option with QuickBooks to be able to link all of your information so all that data is coming to one place. So this allows you not only to track your income, but all of your expenses. Now, some of my favorite ways to use QuickBooks as a small business owner are obviously tracking and managing money coming in and money going out, all of your expenses, contract work, fees, tax payments, etc. And this will make it super easy when it comes to tax time. All you need to do once you've classified your expenses is print out a Schedule C, which tells your accountant all of your expenses and what categories they fit in. The other amazing thing about QuickBooks is you can set up a rule, which means anytime you make a repeat purchase, that rule that you set up will automatically classify that expense. So let's say you're always purchasing from Canva every month for a subscription. Every time you have that charge come through, it'll automatically classify it. Let's say you're purchasing boxes for your business. Anytime you purchase from that business, it'll automatically classify that purchase. So if you have a ton of repeat expenses from the same vendors or suppliers, it'll automatically classify those expenses, saving you hours and hours of time, especially when you set up those rules. So then the only thing you have left to do is classify anything that wasn't made a rule. But you can always go ahead and change what is a rule and what isn't. Basically, QuickBooks allows you to classify all of your expenses, so at the end of the year, you know what sat in what category to help your accountant file your taxes appropriately. Some of the other super cool features of QuickBooks is if you have the app, you can track your miles. That is one of the hardest things as a small business owner that I've struggled to track, is my miles, especially if I'm on a work trip, or how many times I have to run to the post office, or how many times I go to a vendor show. I just have it on my phone and it can track all the miles I'm driving so that it's automatically inputted into QuickBooks, because if you don't know, if you drive a car for business purposes, you can deduct those miles. The other super cool thing that I didn't know you could do with QuickBooks, which is so incredibly helpful for businesses, is a profit and loss statement. Now, I needed to have a profit and loss statement for a loan I was getting this year, and I didn't even know where to begin going about doing that. And then I logged on to QuickBooks and saw that I could easily generate one to get approved for a loan. It generated it so quickly, and it also is really good to understand how much money you're spending and how much money you're actually making, and where some of those higher expenses are coming from. And as a small business, very critical. So even if you don't have to use it for a loan, I highly recommend just using that feature to understand where your money is going and how much money you're actually making and losing. Highly recommend this feature, even if you use QuickBooks just for that alone. It's extremely valuable. Now, the one super awesome feature of QuickBooks is it can help you with your estimated and sales tax. Now, if you're a small business owner, you may or may not be familiar with estimated taxes. If you pay estimated taxes in quarterly, it helps you at the end of the year not owe a bunch of money, because if you don't know, when you are self-employed, no one is collecting your taxes for you, hence why you need to pay your estimated taxes in. When you're a W-2 employee, like most people are, they pay your taxes for you. And when you're self-employed, no one is collecting those taxes, so it's on you as a small business owner. So one of the biggest questions I get asked is, how much do I owe for my quarterly taxes? So if you go into QuickBooks, it'll tell you what your quarterly estimated taxes should look like for federal, and I believe it can also do this for state, depending on the type of membership you have to QuickBooks. And you can even go and pay your estimated taxes in QuickBooks. It is such a cool feature, and for someone who's been paying estimated taxes for the past 4 years, I was often just guessing how much I needed to owe in. And obviously, as a small business owner, what you make year to year, and you don't want to end up owing too much or getting too much money back. So this feature can really help you with those estimated taxes. It also sends a really nice reminder of when those are due, because a lot of people forget about those estimated taxes, and that is one thing you don't want to do if you own a small business or are self-employed. Now, if you don't know what estimated taxes are, again, reach out to an accountant or a CPA to kind of understand what you need to do and how you need to do that before you just jump in and start paying them. There are certain states who have different rules on that, so make sure to check with your accountant to make sure you know what you need to do for your state. And another feature that I found out that is super helpful is QuickBooks also helps you pay your sales tax. So federal income, state income is completely different than sales tax. And again, if you are like
looking at the screen like, what are you talking about?
That is okay. Ask a tax professional what you need to do and how you need to do it. But for those who do understand what I'm talking about, you can see how valuable of an asset this tool is for both sales tax and income taxes. So it can help you pay your sales tax and help you navigate through that process as well. And another super awesome feature is that you can invoice people directly from QuickBooks. So as a small business owner, if you have a friend who wants to purchase something but they don't want to go through your website, or let's say you don't have a website, or let's say you do live sales sales and you don't have a formal way of invoicing outside of PayPal, you can actually invoice directly through QuickBooks and it will input right into all of your tax data. This is so helpful and such a cool feature, especially if you sell things outside or services that you don't have listed somewhere. You can easily invoice people through QuickBooks, so I think that is one super awesome thing. I think you can also sell in person through a QuickBooks, so there's a lot of opportunity for keeping everything in one place with your business within QuickBooks. And I'm sure there's a million other features that I haven't even explored of QuickBooks, but in my last 2.5 years of using it, I absolutely love it, and it has helped me so much not be afraid of taxes and understand like how much money I'm actually making and spending and where I need to cut back or add in. It has been a life changer, especially when it comes to tax season. I used to get so incredibly stressed out, especially around this time of year, but now all I need to do is generate that report for my accountant and he knows what to do. He can take it from there, and it is such a godsend, especially if you own multiple businesses. You can link all those businesses into one for QuickBooks and it can help you navigate through all of those tax questions. So that is it for this video today. Hopefully this wasn't too overwhelming. I tried to break it down and make it very simple. I've never really talked about taxes on my YouTube channel, but it is one of the top questions I get asked in my Patreon. I get asked on social media and just get asked in general. And so many people are afraid of taxes, especially if you've never owned a small business before. Taxes can be very scary, especially when you hear estimated taxes or sale taxes. You're like, what? I don't even know what's going on. I definitely wanted to make a video for those who are thinking about starting a crystal business or any kind of business, that this is something you have to do as a small business owner, is paying taxes. And this is a great way to help you navigate it. And if you do have a small business and you haven't been paying taxes or you don't know how to pay taxes, here's another great way to help you do that. And if you are an expert and you have been using QuickBooks, this is just validation that QuickBooks is an amazing tool. Or, you know, there is a ton of other great tax programs out there. So if you have any recommendations, leave them in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. I know this is a little bit of a different video. Hopefully it wasn't too boring and very much full of information and helpful tips. And if you guys have questions, leave them in the comment section down below and I will personally respond. But remember, I am not a tax expert or CPA, so keep them very high level. And if you guys don't already know, I have a Patreon that is for crystal businesses, and we talk about all things crystal business, suppliers, sourcing, taxes, LLCs, anything and everything in a private Discord. So if you're interested in joining, it'll be linked in my description box down below. And if you guys have made it this far, please leave me a crystal ball emoji so I know that you are the real MVP of my channel. And before you go, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one. Love you. Bye.